Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated, talking about Kevin Stefanski's situation with the Browns.
Do you think that there's any part of Kevin that feels like he's been put in an impossible situation, being the face of 2-6 while also going 2-6?
Yeah, I think it's always a hard situation, when like the coaches have to answer for everything, and like I would sympathize with Kevin on that. I think we went over that, right? Like we were talking about what Tomlin said a couple weeks ago, where like I do think like, in certain situations, especially like with the trade deadline next week and so many questions, big picture questions about the roster, questions about Miles, questions about the quarterback situation, it would probably help take some of the heat off of Kevin if Andrew talked. I would agree with that. Again, like all teams do these things different ways, but and so it's not unusual that a general manager wouldn't talk during the year. There are plenty of teams that just like basically say once the general manager hands the team off to the coach, start training camp, the general manager doesn't talk. So that's not uncommon, but I'd say in this particular situation, it is a little bit of a weird look when, you're 2-6 and you're going the other way after having him talk the last, you said 5 years, right? The last 5 years he was talking during his bye week.
Yeah, and again, we touched on that a little earlier in the week. Just nothing positive would come from that, but you still got to go out and take it.
You can't change the rules now. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure if the Cleveland Browns were 6-2 right now,
yep,
Andrew Berry would want to get up there and wax poetic about how great his rookie class has been. And this was part of, this was one big thing that I had mentioned, right when we did the post-game show on Sunday. You know what? It's nice that Kevin's not going to have to answer all the questions this week. You know what I'm saying? If it's the two of them and they're in unison, came here together, got extended together, and look, every bye week for 5 years, Andrew Berry has done this. Now, all of a sudden, why isn't it going on right now? And look, people want to talk about the rift, but, if you guys are, joined at the hip, and it doesn't matter even if, total friends, this, that, and the other thing, this is the week you speak. And you know what? You go, take a couple of shots. You go take some of these questions that aren't going to be, gum and lollipops. You go take some of these questions and you go explain, and tell people why a guy like Daniel Jones didn't come to Cleveland and why exactly Daniel Jones didn't want to negotiate with Cleveland. Because there's some of these things that could clear the air a little bit if people chose to bring them out into daylight. So you go defend your guy. That's your head coach if you're Andrew Berry. You know what? All right, Kev, rest of the week, go see your wife and kids, get acclimated, enjoy Halloween. You know what I'm saying? I will go Tuesday. I will go Wednesday. And, for this week, I will go face the firing squad.